In a small village nestled among the hills, there lived a wise old man who was known far and wide for his wisdom and calm demeanor. He was a follower of Gautam Buddha and had learned the art of mindfulness and the power of thoughts from the teachings of Buddha himself. One day, a young man from a nearby town came to seek his guidance. The young man was troubled, his mind filled with negative thoughts. "I feel so lost," he said. "My mind is constantly filled with negative thoughts. They tell me that I'm not good enough, that I will fail no matter what I do. How can I silence these voices in my head?" The old man listened patiently. "These thoughts you speak of, they are like a wild river, constantly flowing and trying to pull you along with it. But do you know the secret to crossing such a river safely?" The young man shook his head. "No, I don't." The old man smiled and began to tell a story. There was once a monk who was carrying a heavy sack of gold coins. As he walked along a river bank, a young boy began to follow him, asking questions and begging for a coin. The monk ignored the boy, focusing solely on his path. The boy grew more insistent, his voice rising, trying to grab the monk's attention. But the monk remained calm, never looking back, never stopping, until he reached the other side of the river. The young man listened intently, wondering what the story had to do with his problem. "Why didn't the monk give in to the boy's demands?" the old man asked. "Because he knew that if he stopped, he might never reach his destination," the young man replied, beginning to see the connection. "Exactly," the old man said. "Your negative thoughts are like that boy, always demanding your attention, trying to pull you off your path. If you stop and listen to them, you might never reach your goals. But if you learn to ignore them, to keep walking despite their noise, you will find that they have no power over you." The young man looked thoughtful. "But how do I ignore them? They are so loud, so persistent." The old man nodded. "It takes practice. Start small. When a negative thought arises, acknowledge it, but do not engage with it. Imagine it as a cloud passing by, or as a boy on the riverbank. Let it be, and keep walking forward on your path. With time, you will find that these thoughts grow weaker, and you grow stronger." Days passed, and the young man began to practice the old man's advice. Whenever a negative thought arose, he acknowledged it but didn't dwell on it. He focused on his goals, on his journey, and slowly, he began to feel a shift. The thoughts that once seemed so powerful, so overwhelming, started to lose their grip on him. He felt lighter, more focused, and more at peace. One day, as the young man was working in the fields, a particularly strong wave of negative thoughts hit him. "You're wasting your time. You'll never succeed. Why even try?" The thoughts were loud, almost deafening. But this time, the young man was prepared. He took a deep breath, acknowledged the thoughts, and then turned his attention back to his work. He didn't fight the thoughts, didn't argue with them. He simply ignored them, focusing on the task at hand. As the hours passed, the thoughts faded away, and in their place, a deep sense of calm settled over him. He realized that he had passed the test. He had learned the power of ignoring. That evening, the young man returned to the old man's hut. "I understand now," he said. "The power to control my thoughts lies not in fighting them, but in ignoring them." The old man smiled. "Yes, my child. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be our greatest enemy if we let it. By learning to ignore the noise, you have found the path to true peace and happiness." The story of the young man and the old man is a reflection of our own lives. We all face negative thoughts, doubts, and fears, but we have the power to choose how we respond to them. By practicing the art of ignoring, we can free ourselves from their grip and focus on what truly matters in life.